Ayo, what's good everybody? Trying to find time for videos these days is like trying to squeeze water out of a stone, but managed to at least get one done for everybody. Hopefully helpful. So this time we are doing Sector 5, very hard, Crisis Dungeon. But before that, a little hard mode overview. Here you can see the bosses to expect in hard mode and the trances that come with them so that you can plan your own hard mode run if you need help with that. But onto the meat of the video, which is the very hard mode. Just remember the initial trance abilities for this is physical attack and fire potency. So bring physical fire team. Optimal characters are Cloud, Ketchi, Yuffie, and Sephiroth. Of course, the dungeon MVP is Yuffie if you have her new outfit, her boomerang, and her new striped Moogle float weapon. She is too good for this. Team recommendations, obviously there's tons of characters and teams you can bring, so I'm just going to recommend a few. For physical teams, for example, you could bring Cloud with Sky Splitter as DPS, Sephiroth as support with Radiant Edge, and Aerith with Kimura Wand and Fairy Tail for an offensive healer. Or you could probably also bring Matt with something like Core Defender or Centipede for a more defensive healer. You could also bring Glenn with Crew Kicker as a DPS, or even Red with his Rage Collar as a DPS as well. You could bring Ketchi as an alternative support with Gold Megaphone. And of course, Yuffie is great as a DPS, and she doubles as a DPS and a support with Boomerang and Striped Moogle Float. And Lucia is also great as a support with her Marine Shooter. If your magical fire damage is just better than your physical team, you could bring something like Aerith with the Egg Wand as a DPS, Lucia with a Rose Musket as support, and Matt with Core Defender and or Centipede as healing. Or you could bring something like Zack if you have his Stream Saber and Crystal Sword Z as a powerful magical fire DPS. Ketchi can still bring megaphones for magical damage and debuffing, or you could bring Sephiroth for a similar result. If you don't even have any of those characters, you could even bring someone like Barrett with his Flame Projector, or Ketchi with the Red Megaphone as DPS, or even Sephiroth with the prototype Crimson Blade as your AoE DPS. A couple of optimal team recommendations are for physical. Well, all optimal teams are physical, so Yuffie with her new weapon and boomerang, Marine Shooter Lucia, and Fairy Tail, Kimura Staff, Aerith. Or Cloud with Sky Splitter, Glavinus Sword, whatever secondary you want. Yuffie once again with those two weapons, or at least her boomerang as support, and Aerith with Fairy Tail and Kimura Wand. Of course, there are tons of options, so bring your best team. General prep, you want fire weapons, Poison Essener, possibly for the Scorpion, Healing Esseners for Fog. If you're bringing a magic DPS team, you want physical defense down debuffs, fire summons, AoE magic defense buffs, fire resistance debuffs, and circle sigil, preferably with boost. Here's a look at the bosses and their trance abilities. You could pause it to get a better look. We have Assault Scorpion, we have the Blue Dragon, we have the Triple Soldiers once again, so you can see, as I guessed, AoE is becoming a big thing. And we have the Galen Bello Arcana, with the boss being the Behemoth Pawn. The item usage sheet, as always. Couple of general tips for each boss. The Scorpion, Healing Essener for Poison, as mentioned, a magic attack debuff if you're not strong enough to kill him before Tail Laser A, and a AoE magic defense buff for the same reason. For the Ice Dragon, you can bring Fog Essener if you're planning on bringing a magic team. A physical defense debuff is effective against him, and so are physical attack and magic attack down. Mostly magic attack because that's what he uses, and then an AoE magic defense buff is also very helpful. For the Triple Soldiers, same thing with the Fog Essener. If you are bringing a magic team, you need that. And then you want to try to kill at least one before their main attack if you are not very strong, so that it goes from Blizzaga to Blizzara. And then of course AoE magic defense buff is great again, and all of your defensive and offensive debuffs on the enemy will be effective because they are not immune to any of that. For the Arcana, you want to defend his charge at the start of the battle, similar to the daily Gallon Balor. You want to grab lightning and stun resistance from the blue dragon if you're really struggling with this guy. Fire resistance debuff is pretty effective against him, and debuffing his magic attack and buffing your magic defense before he does electrocute can be really important. Circle Sigil boost weapons are also a must if you can't kill him before or during his stream phase. And then you also want to stay topped up during his stream phase because he's going to do damage to you. For the boss, you want to start with lowering his physical defense and his fire resistance, so you can counter his flame shield. Then obviously you want to keep his combat gauge as low as possible with fire DPS so he doesn't annihilate you. And then an AoE magic defense buff can be very key to this fight because he maxes his own magic attack and he's immune to magic attack down, so you can't counter that, except with defense. Couple of route ideas: all out offense, you can start with the Arcana, get physical attack, then go on to the soldiers, get physical attack at the cost of defenses, move on to the dragon, get fire potency, and finally you can go to the scorpion and grab a bit more physical attack. If you are not that strong and you need more of a defensive route, we go with the safety first. So try to get the Arcana out of the way if you can first, because then he will be at his weakest at Crisis level 1. Then take on the soldiers and grab magic defense, then the scorpion and grab physical defense, and then you can finish off with the blue dragon. Just grab some fire potency, should be fine there. And then finally, if you can't take on the Arcana first because he is quite strong, you could always start with the scorpion, grab the physical defense, then go on to the dragon and get the lightning resist and stun resist, which will help you a lot against the Arcana. Then you can face him, grab the physical attack, finish off with the soldiers and grab the magic defense if you need it for the boss, or physical attack at the cost of defenses if you're strong enough or confident enough for the boss. So in the end of the day, the characters you bring, the team you bring, the weapons you bring, the trance abilities that you choose, and the route that you choose is all up to you. It's based on your characters, your run, what you've got going for you, how strong you are, how new a player you are, how veteran player you are, etc, etc. So you need to make these decisions based on the information that I've given you. There's no one size fits all. And then another thing is that all of the information before this point is basically there to help you as much as possible to get an S+, because to be honest, my run is not going to be very helpful, as is the case these days, especially for newer players, because I basically bully my way through all of the fights and ignore most of the mechanics. So it's kind of just there for show. But anyways, my team is Cloud with OB6 Sky Splitter and OB6 Glavenus Sword. I have Ifrit, Stat Sticks, and a Circle Sigil. For sub-equipment, it's all Fire Potency. So you can look at his stats there. And his R abilities. That's what we got going for us. And then for support, I brought Yuffie. I have OB5 Boomerang and OB1 of her Moogle Floats. I brought Stat Sticks and a Circle Sigil again, and I brought the Crimson Flare summon, the Duo summon, and then again Fire Potency. So you can take a look at her stats. Not as much physical attack as Cloud, but still pretty good. And similar thing with the R abilities. And then finally, as my support, I brought Aerith. I'm not really bringing any AoE magic defense because I don't need it. So I brought Kimura Wand at OB6, Fairy Tail, her heals, some stat sticks, and HP heal and buff debuff for my R abilities or my sub weapons. You can take a look. That is what I'm rocking with Aerith. I could probably bring a more offensive Aerith, since that's the whole plan that I'm doing, but I brought the heals just in case. So I'll start off, I just grab these items right here, and then I go straight to the Arcana. Defend his rush at the start. And then after that, I immediately use Aerith to buff my whole team's physical attack, and Yuffie to debuff his fire resistance, and Cloud to start doing DPS. Now normally at this point with the generate power, you most likely want to lower his magic attack as much as possible, and AoE raise your magic defense as much as possible so that you don't take too much damage from electrocute. Me, I'm kind of just ignoring it and powering through. I still have to take the electrocute, and it is quite a lot of damage and a stun, so you got to be careful, but I can handle it. And then straight after this, he goes into stream phase, which is quite a lot of sigils. At this point, you want a circle sigil boost, as mentioned, or if you're strong enough, you can just power through and finish him off, which is what I do. I kind of ignore the stream phase and just use DPS with Cloud and Yuffie to finish him off. That's it. Now I did take quite a bit of damage from this. So I'm going to pop a supplement and high potion on each of my characters. I grab the physical attack. And then I head straight to the next fight, which in my case is the soldiers. I'm going for the all-out offense route. For the soldiers, I just use AoE with Yuffie, buffing with Aerith, and blazing strike with Cloud. And I can kill 2 of them before the attack goes off, making it just one little weak Blizzara that I defend, and then I just finish him. So yeah, as mentioned, I kind of bully my way through a lot of this, so there's not too much to learn from my run. It's just here to sort of showcase how I did it. I grab physical attack at the cost of defenses, because that is falling in line with my strategy of balls to the walls. I take on the dragon next, and I basically just debuff his fire resistance, buff my physical attack with Aaaaand, and then Ifrit to one-shot it. I actually also cancel his breath with that. So yeah. From him, I grab the highest fire potency. And I grab the chest. You can use these jellies and fire cocktails as you see fit for your own run. For the Assault Scorpion, I kind of just ignore the poison as well. I use AoE with Yuffie and 2 blazing strikes with Cloud, and he's down. I grab the physical attack because I don't need defenses. I come around this way to fight the random battles. I was kind of hoping to be able to charge my Ifrit back up for the boss, but it's not enough to end up using an elixir anyways. So use this random battle and then another random battle just before the boss. You can use that to heal up and charge your limit breaks, etc. Also at the top of the map, across the bridge, is an item that you can collect. So that's the random battle. Now I'm heading off to the boss. You can heal up, do what you need to do. I'll pop an elixir on Cloud, get his summon back, and then just a power jelly and fire cocktail on Cloud. You do what you need to do with items as mentioned. So for this guy, like I mentioned in the slides, you want to start off, I started off with Yuffie. Use Yuffie to debuff his fire resistance, and Cloud's Glavenus sword is debuffing his physical defense. Those both counter out his flame shield. And then I use Aerith's Aaaaand to give my max out my physical attack buffs, AoE. And then I basically continue that until his fire resistance and physical defense is down quite a lot. And I'm waiting for my Aerith's limit break to be charged, so I can cast all 3 at once and get maximum damage. I I use one blazing strike with Cloud and then drop my limit breaks and the boss is dead. So yeah, not a whole lot of takeaways from my actual run, and if you are a newer or weaker player, I do hope that these slides can help you out instead. And best of luck on your own run. I do hope that you get an S+ as well. And as I mentioned, I have really had very little time for videos, so if I made any mistakes or missed out anything, please do let me know in the comments below, and I apologize in advance. But there you can see I got the S+, and hopefully you can get yours too. Thank you as always for watching. Have a fantastic day or night, and see ya.